Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, I'm sure you're aware that this is my mini-series in which I am diving into a unique and mind-expanding deck called the Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne-Towler. And this is a deck that's very different from the decks that I grew up on, the decks based on the Golden Dawn systems. For example, the RWS, the Smith-Waite deck, or the Thoth deck, the Harris-Crowley deck, and all of their iterations and recreations and redrawings, etc. Those are decks that I'm very used to. This is different. This is based on the creator, Christine Payne-Towler's deep research into the continental tarot systems and the esoterica surrounding them. Yeah, things which include Tarot de Marseille, but also Eudes Picard and the Atea decks, for example. So, what do? Every day I pull a card from the Tarot of the Holy Light, and I look at it, and I acknowledge the memories, the ideas, the thoughts that arise based on my experience with the Golden Dawn decks. And I do that so that as I acknowledge those thoughts, I can detach them, I can detangle them from the image that I'm seeing in front of me. So I can confront the card as it is, as much as possible. And to help myself, I use an RWS deck to help me unpack the card that I'm seeing. I use the Light Seer's Tarot, and I do a 3-card spread. First card is the significance of the card that I drew. The second is the obstacle. The third is the advice. Yeah, significance, obstacle, advice, typical 3-card spread. And then I live my day. And at the end of the day, I go to the guidebook for the Tarot of the Holy Light. And I read the entry and see the intent of the creator. And see how the meanings, the symbols, the thoughts contained in this have manifested for me or not manifested for me during the day. Generally, they manifest. And I believe they manifest even when I'm not fully aware of them, to tell you the truth. So, that's what I'm doing now. And the card that I drew for today, or the card that I drew last night and slept on, because that's my new little practice, was the Two of Cups, upright. And this is a card which I've already had experience with during the course of this series, this mini-series. So I already had some memories of what I had read when preparing for that day's video. So what I see here, you see the two creatures. One is a serpent and one is, I believe, a fish or maybe a dragon. No, one's a bird and one's a serpent. Anyways, they've got each other's tails. And they're forming, the Ouroboros, the creature that eats its own tail. Well, this is one creature eating the tail of the other while the other creature eats its tail, right? So there's a joining of the two. There's a binary, but a unity from that binary. We also see the sun and the moon, binaries, right? Leo and Cancer, binaries, but both residing in the same summer season in the zodiac, right? Leo, Cancer, summer signs. We also see the two cups, one pointing up, one pointing down. And what came to mind is one raised to fill with joy, one to empty out sorrow. It was an interesting thing that came to my mind when I saw the card this time. Raising the cup of joy, pouring out the cup of sorrow. So anyways, this is the card for today. And I recognize that I've still got those ideas of the Two of Cups from Rider-Waite-Smith. Yeah, the lover card. That still keeps wanting to knock at my door. But I'm still here, but I'm still here, but I'm still here. So Those are the things that were going through my mind at the beginning of the day. And so I pulled my 3 cards from the Light Seer's Tarot. Let me show you those cards right now. These cards are just interesting, very, very interesting. You saw them, right? The first card, the significance was the World card. The obstacle, easy to see as an obstacle, the 4 of Cups, and then the advice, the 9 of Wands. And I get the 9 of Wands sometimes as advice for me. Not as often as the Knight of Cups, for example, not as often as some of the other cards, but this one comes up for me on the regular. So what did I think? So remember how we noticed that unity of the binary, the 2 creatures eating each other's tails? No, where did your mind go? Eating each other's tails. So when I see this World card from the Light Seer's Tarot, yeah, I get the idea. I have those memories of fulfillment, completion, wholeness, end of one cycle, beginning of the other cycle, liminal space between this and that, finished with one, not starting the next, that kind of thing. But particularly with this card, I also get the idea of unification, of integration. That's the word I was looking for, integration. You see how the dark and the light here are being drawn together and merging, what I see as merging this energy, this element, and this element. They're coming up and they're knitting together and they're joined in the figure of the human being. So what I get here is integration of yin yang, of active and passive, those kinds of things. So that with this seemed like a really good match, right? The obstacle, the 4 of Cups, could totally see that as being an obstacle. Yeah? Dissatisfaction while missing the ray of sunshine off to the side, but dissatisfaction. And so the advice makes sense, yeah? So you might get beat up a little bit, but you're going to still stay standing. So hold on to that. Hold on to your ability to stay standing, which is interesting when I tell you about my day today. Because today, some things actually did happen to me. So those were the cards, lived my day, and then I read the book. And the book helps a lot, always helps a lot. So let me read you what the book says about the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups generally signifies the union of opposites, often showing an Adam and Eve theme. The card is traditionally associated with a romantic relationship, but between the lines can be found all types of partnerships based on affinity and deep mutual understanding. Sometimes it means that your outer self and your inner self are discovering each other, possibly for the first time. So it doesn't even have to be a relationship with another manifesting human being. It could be a relationship, an internal relationship. Yeah? Spirit, ego. We all have binary sides to ourselves. I mean, I don't particularly believe in gender roles, but masculine, feminine, we've got all of that in each of us. We've got active, passive in each of us. So that relationship, that marriage of the 2 could be indicated by the 2 of Cups as well. Continuing on. In the Tarot of the Holy Light, we have replaced the winged serpent vase with an annotated Star of David or Great Arcanum, which carries Mercury at the center of the other planetary governs. Now, just a moment. What did they mean by replaced the winged serpentine vase? Do you know the 2 of Cups from Tarot de Marseille decks? Most Tarot de Marseille decks have 2 cups, and between there's this vase with these 2 heads that some people say look like fish, some people say look like dragons, but that's what Christine Payne-Towler is talking about. Replacing that with this star, with Mercury right there in the center. Can you see Mercury right there in the center? You can see it. It's easier to see the Mercury in this card because it's yellow and it stands out a little bit better than the Mercury from yesterday. There was a Mercury yesterday. I got a Mercury today. Actually, there are Mercuries all over the deck, but still. So why is that important? Mercury Hermes is the representative of the fused intersexuality, full androgyny, which is one of the benefits and attributes available to a person who takes this symbol as an internal event rather than an external one. So the merging of aspects of self. And it continues. One who embodies both cups within his or herself, or their selves, has the advantage of being able to deploy both male and female styles of thinking, communicating, and acting. This is a tremendous blessing, actually. The cognitive and emotional equivalent of ambidexterity. So we've got left, right brain, being able to merge both and use both equally. We've got conscious and unconscious. We've got superego and id. We've got aspects. We've got spectrums of aspects of self that are often fragmented. And in this card, we can see the union, the potential of union, or the coming together, or the drawing together of aspects. Does that make sense? One more thing I want to read. Sometimes the moon finds Leo's constant social whirl a near compulsive search for new amusements. Let me say that again. Sometimes the moon finds Leo's constant social whirl and near compulsive search to find new amusements to be overstimulating and perhaps even a distraction from the true goal. So we in the book, they've been talking about Cancer and Leo here. The sun up at the top being this planet for Leo, the moon down at the bottom being the planet of Cancer. But this card is Cancer ruled by Mars. Sorry. Yes, Cancer ruled by Mars in Cancer. So the card is very Cancer-ish, but Leo, the sun, also has a big role to play in this. It's the partner, it's the wedded couple. So sometimes the moon finds Leo's constant need for stimulation to be distracting and off and taking us away from the goal. However, in the main, the moon can use her experiences with the collective organism to gain valuable exposures and discover buried parts of herself. So with that bright light and that intensity of Leo, which I'm Leo, the moon can also discover deeply hidden aspects of self and then are able to integrate them, right? So was I consciously aware of that happening today? Not so much. But I'm not really, I don't know. Are you, when you find that you have or are integrating or have integrated aspects of self, are you really aware of the process when it is going on, or are you, after the fact, you realize, oh, something's happened. I'm functioning more easily as a spirit in this body. For me, I don't think I would necessarily notice the thing integrating until perhaps the thing had been completed. I may be wrong. But that may be this in process today. Let me tell you about my day today. So today I decided it started off raining, and I had planned, because my app on my phone told me it should be sunny today, I had planned to ride my bicycle to work, wash my bicycle, and bring my bicycle to the bicycle shop to get some repairs done on it. I was going to leave work, I was going to wash my bicycle, leave work an hour or so early, go to the bike shop, have them do a couple things, and then come home. Morning, contrary to my app, it was raining a little bit. Oh no, quite a bit. when I woke up. So that was disruptive. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to ride my bicycle, but if I ride my bicycle in this rain, it's going to stay dirty. And do I want to bring a dirty bicycle to the repair shop? That'd be embarrassing. And also I wanted them to check the brakes, and they get really annoyed if I bring my bike in wet and they have to check the brakes because they say they can't check the brakes, and all these things are running through my head. And so I shower, I had breakfast, and I get myself all geared up to ride in the rain, and I go out and the rain has stopped. And I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe the bike will, I'm sure the bike is going to get wet still because there's water on the ground, but maybe it can dry in time to, after lunch, and maybe a couple hours after lunch, to ride it to the repair shop to get those repairs I wanted done. Maybe it's still possible. So I'm riding through these wet streets thinking of that, and suddenly, bam, what happens? I get a flat tire. Now, I've got this wonderful bicycle. It's a beautiful bicycle, but it's a very special bicycle. It's got a very special brake system. The brake isn't the wire connected to a thing. It's a hydraulic brake system. Now, the bike is really not that fancy. A little bit fancy, but it's really not that fancy. The brake system is very fancy, and I've taken it to a shop that doesn't know how to work with my bike, and they completely messed up the brake system. So there's only one place in town that knows how to fix my bike. And so I just bit the bullet and I said, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to walk across town with my bicycle and leave it at the bike repair shop for them to fix. And hopefully I can wait for it. And so I walked and I walked and I walked and I walked. And as I was getting close to I made the turn onto that final street where the shop was. They were doing this weird construction. There was this huge truck on the sidewalk, and it had a huge shovel full of dirt, and it was waiting for another truck to come up and pull. And so I couldn't continue on the side of the sidewalk that I was walking on. So I had to walk around the truck and around all of that stuff and keep going. And I kept walking and I kept walking, and something started feeling strange. And I kept walking and I kept walking, and I said, oh, I could have sworn that the bike shop was closer than this. And I kept walking, and I kept walking, and I saw a large intersection. I said, that's got to be it, right there, over there. And I kept walking, and I saw that shop, and that shop was not the bicycle shop. And I know the bicycle shop wasn't past that intersection. And so I pulled out my phone and searched for it on the app. And yes, I had passed it by. It was behind that truck that had been full of dirt. So I'd skirted around the bicycle shop without noticing it, and had kept on walking. So I walked back still toting my bicycle. And I got there, and the place is all boarded up, making it even more difficult to see when it's hiding behind a truck. The place is all boarded up, and apparently they're in the middle of remodeling. But there was a sign saying they're continuing business in the basement. I couldn't find the basement. I called the owner. There's a phone number on there. I called the owner. The owner came. The owner said they'd take my bicycle down. I said, how long is it going to take? And they said, I don't know. Come back before 6. I was like, before 6? So that means I better go to work. So I went to work, and I've got on the bus. I went to work. And I got some stuff done. I got a wonderful letter from, I mentioned this guy, I think, in the previous videos. When I was in Iceland, when I was in Reykjavik, staying at the hotel hospital, there was another man who was staying at the hotel hospital and with his wife in the hospital. My mother was in the main hospital, and we had gotten up a rapport. And he was going back to England, and I went back to California and then back to Korea. And so he sent me an email, which was really pleasant. And I've kind of missed him. I missed our conversations. I missed spending time with him. And so it was wonderful. I sent him a lengthy email talking about my reentry into Korea, which I've discussed on this channel, I believe, already. So that was nice. That was kind of a connection, a Two of Cups kind of thing, right? More in the RWS But also, I mean, that's still here. We don't want to ignore that as a possibility for this card. And then I got a call from, well, actually I got a text message, and then I texted them back and saying, what are you talking about? And no response. So I called them, and they said, well, it looks like it's going to take about 2 to 3 days for us to fix this bicycle, because apparently at least 2 of the spokes had been broken, and they don't have the spokes. They're going to have to order them. And then I said, well, and then we went into negotiations. Well, if I don't get it by Thursday, I'm going to have to just leave it there for a lot longer, because I can't get it after Thursday. I can't go to your shop after Thursday. Won't be till sometime the next week. And they didn't particularly like that idea. So then they said that they're going to message me tomorrow with more information, and that's how that ended up. So I left work a little bit early anyways, came near my home, had a cup of coffee, did some more work, more reading, and organized notes from my reading of the book by Eliphas Levi, which I mentioned in yesterday's video. Came home, baked some bread, and now I'm doing this video. So yeah, integration. I think there was some integration that is happening. I'm integrating the studies that I am in the process of beginning with Eliphas Levi. And I think that this is happening. Also, I think that email from my friend Simon in England, not Simon that you know, a very different Simon. This Simon has nothing to do with tarot, to my knowledge. Yeah, that could be it. There were definitely these moments today. And mostly I did this. I felt a little bit beat up, especially with that flat tire and having to walk all the way. It's summer here. It's not blistering hot, but it's warm, very, 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 very warm. So that walk, and then leaving it, and then walking a long way to get a bus and all of that. But I'm still standing. I'm fine. It was a decent day. Wasn't the day I had planned for myself, but it was a decent day. And I think perhaps some integration is happening. What do you think? Let me know. Hit the thumbs up button if you're still here with us, so that YouTube knows that you are still here and other people might want to join in. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so you know when I upload videos. I'm still going to do one a day until near the end of next week. Then I'll be switching back to my old cycle of about 2 a week. And comment below. I would really love to hear from you. If you want a reading from me, there will be my email address below. Shoot me an email. Say I wanted a reading. We'll work it out. So friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.